Hello, good evening everyone. Welcome to RPM Esports High Gear, the British Grand Prix. And of course we're at Silverstone. I've just seen one of the drivers drop out of the session already, 18 tonight, so at the moment 17. Hopefully they can get back in without any further troubles. Silverstone then, yes, 3.6 miles of the home of British motorsport, of course. It is it changed quite a lot over the years since the beginning when it first started as just a road linking the various runways, of course, on this former World War II airfield. One of the fastest F1 circuits in history. It's been slowed down a little bit over the years with the addition of a few chicanes and, of course, the new loop through turns 3 and 4. But just got a couple of comments coming in. We'll just see what's going on there. Absolutely no mention whatsoever of a karting event. We will not mention that at all tonight. Maybe just did. Either way, we've got Higgsy in a beautiful AlphaTauri. We will try and be unbiased, but no promises. He's on an outlap, and yeah, start of qualifying, so people just starting to make their way out of the pits. We'll get some information up on the screen. Of course, we want to see what they're setting their best tyres on. It's interesting to see that 3 of the drivers have already set the mediums, and we'll get a full track map on so we can see where the various drivers are and see who's setting themselves up for a clean lap. We've got some support for the Alpines by the looks of things in the comments already. It's Sminotla then who appeared to have some trouble being kicked out of the session, and seems that he might be back in, so yeah, hopefully all good there. We'll try and get along with some of the names as we go along. Certainly recognise some of them. However, there's a few new faces to myself in there, so we'll do the best we can and try and give everyone a mention. I think Higgsy is actually the first man to start a lap. Can't see anyone out there who's beaten him to it, so we'll stick with him for now and see what it's like through the first sector. And yeah, always obviously the element of weather in the British Grand Prix, and he's, yeah, well, he managed to get as far as turn 1. He's invalidated, unfortunately. Who's just behind him? I think it's Jetfish. It is indeed. And there's a car well off the track there. One of the Aston Martins, I think, has gone off. Maybe just came out of the pits and had to bail out to to not impede those starting their laps. Either way, Jetfish is now already down to Sector 2, and the Brooklands and Luffield complex. Yellow flags, I think it's just drivers getting out of the way. We've got a tag, it's just a YouTube notification. Right, where were we? Yeah, down into Copsen for Jetfish, and so far will be the first man to set a time. And where is he currently in the grand scheme of things? Let's have a look at some standings. So he currently sits second, actually. Collins away and gone on 340 points. Jetfish is in a reasonably comfortable second place, 191, ahead of Luke, who yeah, is here tonight as well, on 178. So your top 3, it's a little bit of a battle, just 13-point gap going on for second place. And Jetfish will be looking to start as he means to go on. Through the final couple of corners he comes, all neat and tidy, getting on the throttle nicely through there. Tricky little final corner at times, but goes obviously top of the pile at 27.1. Who is coming through? We've got, I think, who's it got? It's Andrew, who's gone second. We were looking for an Alpine, we got the wrong one. So yeah, he's gone second so far on a 27.6. Joe on a 31.8 appears to have gotten lost, so that's obviously not a representative time. Colin on the mediums has gone straight to the top, but then beaten by KVK. Oh, and Colin is in the barrier. So that's, yeah, so he set his time on mediums, but he will go no further. And, well, that's the end of that then. Big slide through turn 2 and just could not catch it. Yeah, KVK is... he's just beaten him on the mediums as well, and rotation goes across the line 27.3. So some good laps for those on the mediums. So yeah, KVK sits 6th in the championship at the moment. Rotation 7th just behind him. Bakker in the other McLaren has gone up to P4. He's on the softs at 27.1. So some low 27s. Yeah, quite a few low 27s. Looks pretty tight up the top at the moment. We've got a Mercedes just going slow into Cops. Who else can we see? I think Lucist is coming down the back of the circuit. Is he? No, it's Andrew on his in-lap, I think. But either way, we'll stay on board with the other Alpine as he comes through into the final sector. And down the hangar straight towards Stowe. Not long left in the lap. I will, as I do several times on on ones where I don't know too many of the drivers, I will apologise straight away for the pronunciation of anyone. And Lucis goes to P7. It's always nice to get a random member joining the commentary party. And for some reason my audio has dipped ever since that, so not entirely sure what's going on there. Yeah, so since we got a bit of a guest there temporarily in the commentary box, my audio has gone noticeably lower. Hopefully it's all coming through fine still for you guys, so if anyone could let me know, that would be great. Let's catch up with what we've missed. Luke's gone to P6 for Ferrari. Joe did get a representative lap in. It's a mid-27, just ahead of Andrew. 1/1000th of a second between those two. So we've got some more yellows. To complete the order, Rodo, who I believe is a reserve, because he is a mid-gear driver, 27.777. So yeah, there's enough of the sevens in there. Audio's good. All right, good to hear. I'll have to put it with some slightly quieter engines, but hopefully, yeah, as we say, all coming through good to everyone else. Huss is another mid-gear driver, 28.1 for him, and Eek on a 30.0. That is, I imagine, not a representative time for him. He's been in a couple of the mid-gear races, I think, fairly recently, and was up the front of those. So yes, I'm sure he's got more pace in the bag than that. And he's coming down towards Stowe now. And he's back down. This is not on the lap. No energy being used, so returning to the pits. And what have we got? Six drivers? 7 drivers. 6 drivers. Now 5 drivers. Yet to set a time. Someone's just gone up there, and I'm not entirely sure who it was. Was it Sminotler? I think it could have been. In the second of the AlphaTauris, it was indeed. He's gone out on the mediums and done a 26. Done exactly the same. What? Look at that! 3 drivers. We've got Joe, Sminotler, and Andrew on 2 different compounds of tyres, and there is 1/1000th of a second between the 3 of them. Interesting that Sminotler got given that position. Usually it's the first one to set the time that keeps it, but I wouldn't necessarily trust Codemasters to get that right. Who is on a lap? Anyone out there? Sminotler's invalidated, but has just finished a lap anyway. Andrew, I think, may be out there on a lap, so we'll stick with him as he comes down the Wellington Straight. And across the first sector timing beam, is he improving? Yes, 10th and a bit up on his personal best, so that will gain him a couple of positions straight away, won't it? As he comes through the very tricky Luffield. There's quite a few different lines you can take through there, but it seems to just go on forever. And now taking the shortest route down towards Cops. You'll be looking for a little bit of white barrier. As soon as you see that, you're turning in. And yeah, absolutely flat through there in top gear in qualifying trim. A little bit more tricky with full race fuel on, of course. Through Maggotts and Beckett's. What a sequence of corners this is. Loved by many a driver. And through Chapel, DRS open now. We've got a comment. Wonder how Colin's race will go. Medium's not a good starting tyre here in case of early safety car. Yeah, indeed. So most of the drivers, I would imagine, are looking to stay off the hard tyre. It seems to be, certainly in years gone by, it's been a pretty straightforward one-stop race. Soft medium usually. And yeah, Colin is absolutely guaranteed to start on the medium. Whether he would have done that anyway, it's I would imagine, given his points lead, I have to confess, as we've lost Joe down the hangar straight for some reason. Can we see why that is? No, because I've got the wrong blue car. It's rotation that's just gone past him. I'm going to chase my tail here, trying to find this car, but he's managed to go off and end up backwards down the hangar straight. That's an impressive one. Maybe just a loss of concentration there, but it's easily done. But yeah, finding himself pointing the wrong way in a straight line. So we're down to 16 runners then, and we've still got those 5 to not set a time for now. Whenever I say that, someone sets a time. Who's just gone across the line? Evil Master, I think, in a much less red car than we're used to seeing him. And he's gone across the line with a 27.5, so yeah, slotted in to that very tight midfield at the moment. And I do feel like we're going to miss most of the action. So we seem to just be seeing people as they go over the line. We've got Higgsy starting a lap, Maggot also just behind him. So a couple of the drivers that haven't set a time are now attempting to do so. Higgsy, did he make it through turn 1? He did this time. So he's got further than he did on his first run. And down to the loop. Third gear all the way through there by the looks of things. And yeah, a little bit of a slide on the exit with the wheel spin. DRS open now down the back straight. Brent's gone quickest on a 26.8. First man into the 26s then on soft tyres. And that lowers the benchmark. And of course we know we're not going to see any more from Colin. So yeah, it's down to KVK and Andrew. Maybe Jetfish or Backer as well. Just in the 27.1s can get in the 26ers themselves. And who have we got? Anyone coming across the line? No, not at the moment. So we'll stick with Higgsy around the back of the lap. Good run through Cops. There's some yellow flags. That may be, I think that's possibly Evil Master. Is it returning to the pits? Maggot's lost it on the exit of Cops. So yeah, he was on a hot lap, wasn't he? Who's just improved? Anyone? Someone, I'm sure, just went across the line. Who was it? Not sure on that. Higgsy, where can he get himself? It's all looked pretty neat and tidy so far, and it's a pretty competitive field, so it could pretty much end up anywhere. Green flag's showing as he comes across the line, so no issue there. It's going to be in the 27s. 27.6 puts him just outside the top 10 at the moment in P12. And who are we missing? Yeah, Huss is coming through Stowe and straight into the pits. Rodo is out the back of the circuit, which means Brent is, yeah, the one coming through Stowe and on an in-lap. Jetfish is on a lap, so we'll go with him through the final couple of corners and see what he can manage. And a lot of curb there on the inside. Through the final corner and across the line. Didn't improve, stays 5th on a 27.151. And we've got some messages that we will just try and see what the drivers are saying. KVK finally going to out-qualify Colin. Traffic cost him half a second apparently, parking on Apex. Crashing was on him. Yeah, stop concentrating after going over the line. Yeah, that's not the best of ideas, but I'm sure he will, well, either way, it looks like he's going to have a competitive grid slot. So he will definitely be one of the favourites for the race. Who have we got doing anything at the moment? We've got Luke coming across the line. Has he just finished a lap or is he just starting one? Energy-wise, I would suggest he's just starting one. So we'll stay with him. Let's just finish what was going on. Lucist apparently may have blocked someone, and apologies from him. Someone's taken out the 50-metre board. It says rotation. Colin wants to start 11th so he can choose his tyres. Yeah, that's it. We're up to date. So Luke, then, what can he manage? Can he get himself? Can he gain a 10th or two? It would, if he could gain about 2 tenths, he might even get on the second row of the grid here. So it's that tight up in the top 10. Through Cops he goes. Downshifting to 7th gear just to keep the revs up through there. And now Maggots and Beckett's coming up. Just 3.5 minutes remaining in the session, so the drivers will be preparing for their final runs. Luke just about keeping it on the track there into Chapel, and he's up exactly a couple of tenths, isn't he? So this is going to be an improvement in position, and it could be quite a few positions, especially if he can gain a 10th or two. He might even go on the front row here if he could gain a 10th or two in these final couple of corners. Let's see if he can keep that rate of improvement going as he comes through the final corner and across the line. What's it going to be? It's going to be the 27.0, and it's, yeah, second row doesn't quite knock Colin down, so it doesn't look like he's going to be starting 11th. And that probably is Luke done for the session. And we've got Lucis coming through on an out lap, so about to start a lap. Yeah, it's all pretty quiet at the moment, isn't it? So 3 minutes remaining, and the drivers are yeah, just about starting to appear. And these guys who've started their lap earlier want to make sure that they don't come out right ahead of them. No such problems for Lucis. Oh, he's invalidated turn 1. So maybe he was looking at the driver coming out of the pits and just got a little bit distracted. Either way, he's not going to set an improvement here. He may be able to back off and go again if he's got enough fuel. He's got the time to get round. What have we got? We've got Bakker on an out lap. We've got the other McLaren of KVK as well. Just getting a last little bit of tyre warming going on. And yeah, very slow through the final couple of corners as he prepares for his lap. And let's go on board, why not? Just under 2 minutes remaining. As most of them are out there on out laps, we'll go on board with the McLaren, who currently sits P2. He's put the soft tyres on, so you would expect an improvement. And let's see through the first sector. This is 2 of the corners where those tyres will certainly help him out. The slow right-left, effectively hairpins through Village and the loop. Now a tricky left-hander that you just sort of need to position the car nicely through. Down the Wellington straight with the DRS open. Looking, yeah, that's the 50-metre board that's missing then. Down into Brooklands. And what sort of line does he take? Yeah, let's see, just run out a little bit wider before getting it straightened up on the exit of Luffield for best traction. We've got some yellow flags as drivers position themselves into Stowe. And again, looking for that barrier up front where it changes from red to white. You want to be turning in. Oh, he's run very wide. Does he keep the lap? Yes, he does. That was yeah, pretty lucky, I guess. And through Maggots and Beckett's, downshifting a couple of gears. One more down to 5th for the last part. And what's the time going to be? It's half a second up, so this is going to be provisional pole for KVK. Yeah, Jetfish saying current pole wouldn't be faster than mid gear. This is about to change that fact, because KVK is going to be well into the mid 26s with this one. And final couple of corners, yeah, traffic saved well out of the way, so no issues. And across the line, is it going to be? Where's it going to be in the 26s? Is it 26.5? It's 26.362. Puts him on provisional pole. Who can change that? It's Rodo, who's just come across the line. I think starting a lap. Bakker's on a lap, improving by a couple of tenths. This could get him into P3. This might knock Colin down. Let's have a look. Is he going to get into the 26s? He'd be the 3rd driver to do so. Does indeed, and actually knocks Brent down as well by a tenth. So good final sector there from Bakker. We've got, I think, Evil Master coming through. Improves to P8, and it's on an all Mercedes 4th row. Some quick maths there, as he slots into 8th place behind his teammate. Lucist is 3 tenths up. Where would that put him at the moment? Around that sort of Evil Master zone, wouldn't it? In P8 and P9. So Alpine will be hoping for an improvement here. Can he get anywhere around his teammate Andrew, who just improves actually as he goes across the line? We missed that. P4 for Andrew, just sneaks into the 26s. What's it going to be for Lucist? It's a 27.1. Goes P8, knocks Evil Master down onto into 9th place. Someone's just coming through. Its rotation on the soft tyres. Big improvement. Yep, we expected that from those who set their times on the mediums early on. 26.5 puts him on the front row. Brent goes back ahead of Bakker with P3. And we've got Higgsy, I think that was, who's just gone up to P9. Gets the Toro Rosso. Wow, what on earth just happened there? The Alpha Tauri into the top 10 with P9. And is that Rodo coming across? It is. And yeah, big improvement from him. Slots into the 26s as well with P5. I think that may be it. I think we've probably seen the last of qualifying. I don't think anyone else is out there on a lap. They're either all retired from the session or have a nice little checkered flag next to their name. Bakker is the last man to return to the pits, and we will just again have a look at any comments from the drivers. Yeah, some choice language, which we won't repeat. Mainly aimed at themselves rather than anyone else, which was good to see. Luke saying this isn't looking too good for him. He's P8, that's reasonable. He's, yeah, within range of a decent race result with that one, isn't he? As we say, currently sits P3, and Ferrari walking away with the constructors as a result of Colin's performances. Obviously Luke's count as well, but yeah, Colin with that big lead in the drivers has put Ferrari on top. Alfa Romeo actually sits second, just 8 points ahead of the McLaren pair at the moment. That's actually quite a decent fight for P2 in the constructors here, isn't it? Alfa, McLaren, Mercedes and Alpine all sort of in with a shout of that towards the end of the season. Some congratulations for Rodo there. Colin apparently was aiming at a 25.9, so that would have yeah, easily put him on pole by a few tenths. Higgsy saying it's so tight in the midfield. Absolutely, yeah. Definitely correct on that one. We've got Rodo on P5 on a 26.9, and what, you had a couple of tenths to that, and you're down to Evil Master in P12. So yeah, definitely sort of even 13th with Huss to P5. That's a mammoth battle coming up in the race, no doubt. Calm Master, as he's now known. Evil Master saying he lost 2 tenths into Cops. KBK says shocker of a lap for him. Where did he end up? I'm not sure if that's sarcasm, to be honest. Rodo saying that's the best lap he's ever done here. Please don't take brake marker boards out yet. Evil Master saying he's just stupid. So embracing his inner Leclerc there. That's it. We've got some comments on the stream as well. Is Colin drunk? I don't know, but apparently Spritzy is. Apparently he's on the gin. Don't think there's much truth in that, but who knows. Richie Macy is hoping for a double Ferrari podium, which Luke agrees with, absolutely, I should expect. Right, let's get some of these bits and pieces up. Try out this this dashboard malarkey. Let's have a look at what we've got. Bear with me. Oh, we've got a dark mode. Lovely. Right, formation lap, we're underway. There's a nice predicted pit stop strategy for you. Let's get some information on the screen. We like to go with position change, don't we, for the start of the race. See who the big winners and losers are, and yeah, all set to go there. So KBK leading us around from rotation. Brent, Backer, Rodo, Andrew, Colin, Luke, Jetfish, Higgsy, Lucist, Evil Master, Huss, Joe, Sminotler, Eek, Maggot, and Riyadh. I'm going to take a guess at that one. Again, apologies if any of these names are incorrect. If possible, do correct me during the race. If not, just let me know after, and we'll correct that for next time. We're already round to Maggots and Beckett's, so not going to be too long before we're underway with proceedings here. We do have quite a few players, effectively, in the telemetry. So we've got player 11 is Rodo, player 9, Jetfish, 3, I'm never going to remember all these, but I might as well. Huss is player 3, Joe. Yeah, we'll take a guess with the team names, but the majority of them are there and all good to go, so we'll have a bit of a play with that later on in the race. Yeah, we've ghosted inside each other here, so rotation keen to get underway. Spritzy, good luck Alpine guys. Where did they qualify? 6th with Andrew and 11th with Lucist. Just actually have a quick look at the tyres they've all got on. So Colin obviously starting on the mediums. 3 others have gone for that with free choice from 11th downwards. And we're waiting for some lights. We've got Riyadh. He is pulling up into his start line grid right now. And we're going to the front because we've got lights on. We've got 4 of them. We've now got 5, and we are underway. KVK, what sort of start can he get? We can't really see from this angle, but... oh, we've got a Alfa Romeo Rodo, I think, maybe. No, it's Brent, already sideways, and losing a lot of positions. We've got cars running wide as well at turn 1. Brent's down right to the back of the field already. Rotation leads, though, through the loop for the first time. Oh, and Andrew's gone round. He's going to drop all the way to the back with that one. And, yeah, not a good start for the Alpines, unfortunately, with the support in the comments. But KVK is now racing rotation down to Brooklands. And what have we got? We've got Backer's broke his front wing, apparently. So some damage to the other McLaren. And Colin already, look at that, making up 3 positions up to P4. Jetfish up a massive 6 places as well. But, yeah, either way, rotation still leading. Oh, we've got yellows again. What's happened now? Joe's dropped to the back. No damage by the looks of things. Either way, rotation and KVK still racing each other all the way down to Maggots and Beckett's. This is a first lap reminiscent of F1 in 2021, of course, with the drivers going absolutely tooth and nail. And we've got Sminola saying he put the mediums on, the game gave him softs. So, yeah, that's a bit of a knock for him. Either way, as we've mentioned, it's not the worst strategy to be on around here at Silverstone. KVK still can't find a way through. Colin, though, is going up the inside and just about finding enough space for that. He's hoping to send Jetfish a little wide with that one. Can't quite find a way through just yet. And ooh, running a little bit wide there. Hopefully he didn't pick up a warning. So I think Backer's in the pits. He is indeed, as Colin makes his way through into the podium places, but not quite completing it yet. Leaving just enough room for Jetfish. But, oh, and contact! Contact through the second part, and he's still sideways. There's going to be damage there. Evil Masters into the side of him. Nothing he could do. And unfortunately there... Oh, and a 5-second penalty with a collision with Rodo as well, so it gets worse for Evil Master. Colin, though, is facing the wrong way. And let's have a look at what happened there. We've got Jetfish has front wing damage. We've got... who's that? One of the Mercedes. Evil Master, I think, has front wing damage as well. And someone else out there. Rodo, I think, also with front wing damage. So, yeah, quite a chaotic second lap here. But these two are still half a second apart, and that means there's going to be DRS coming into play at the end of this lap. And, yeah, so who's been in so far? Just Backer on the end of the first lap, but I expect to see a couple more in this time. And some comments going through. Yeah, it's just eyes from Spritzy, that's all. Rotation, of course, carrying on into lap 3. We've got another comment coming through by the looks of things. We'll try and grab that when it does. We'd like an off-board camera, please, as the top 2 come round into lap 3. DRS, of course, will be enabled. Fastest lap of the race from rotation, a 30.537. And what's happening? Let's have a bit of a look. Colin's got front wing damage, and that only actually came in recently, so I think he's made further contact with someone by the looks of things. He's into the pits, as is Rodo, Evil Master, and Huss, all into the pits. Backer might make a couple of places up here. So what's he put on? The hard tyres for Backer, so I wonder if you can go to the end on those. They do go a fairly long way. So the top 2 now just 3/10 apart, with a bit of DRS for KVK that time. Evil Master's been in to change his wing. Yeah, Colin. Yeah, we've seen all those messages. Calm Master could do nothing there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course, nothing Evil Master could do to avoid that one. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time. We're going to have, though, a DRS race down the hang straight this time. Look at that, just 3/10 between KVK and rotation as they come through. He's going to get the DRS open at the first possible opportunity. Does he use any of the ERS to help him along? He does not. Rotation not going too defensive, leaving that inside line open, but manages to stay ahead for this time. Luke goes up into P3, so already that slightly disappointing qualifying for him, using his own words, has been overcome already. P3, good start for him. Jetfish down to P5. Look at Higgsy up into the top 5. As KVK sets the fastest lap of the race. Maggots up an incredible 11 positions, and Sminola, as he said, running the softs, which wasn't his choice apparently, but he's going very well on them up into P7. It has to be said, Brent's he dropped a lot of places off the start. I think he was involved in a collision sort of even before we got to turn 1, but he's stayed out of trouble since then and continued and improved back to P8. Are we going to see a change for the lead? Not quite. A couple of tenths still between them. KVK can't quite find a way through. You can see, though, he's not feeling the need to use his electrical energy too much. He's quite happy to use the DRS to pull himself along. And, yeah, I wonder if he's just happy to sit with this this first stint behind rotation, who, to be fair to him, isn't using too much of his DRS to defend either. Still just a couple of tenths between them. Can KVK do anything down the hangar straight this time? Does he want to do anything down the hangar straight this time? He's using a bit of overtake as they come out. Maggot picks up a 3-second time penalty, and he's going to go for it this time. Yeah, absolutely, down the inside into Stowe, and the lead changes here on lap 4 of 26. Very long way to go for these drivers, of course, and Jetfish actually has found his way back through on Luke, so that's a nice little battle between the Mercedes and the Ferrari, as Luke maybe just considered a move back down the inside into Vale, but no, he's going to sit behind him and hopefully stay within that 1 second window, although he dropped back a little bit there. Yeah, hopefully can stay within that 1 second window and get the DRS back down the Wellington straight. We've got a bit of a race going on here for well, actually, this is on the back of Luke, isn't it? So we've got quite a train here from sort of P3 all the way down to P7, I guess, with Sminotler, who's looking up the inside already of Maggot, maybe even through the left kink, and DRS, of course, open because of the cars ahead anyway. They've both got the DRS. Does Sminotler manage to get ahead? He's got himself some space on the inside, but Maggot will stick with it, and no, had to give second best in the end, so that's the AlphaTauris now line astern in 5th and 6th. Who's on which tyres? I will give you that information right now. We've got the top 8 on the softs. We've got Lucis, the first of the medium runners. Riyadh started at the back on the mediums, and then you've got the pitters of Bakker on the hards. Evil Master came in and put the mediums on. Colin put a set of softs on, and he's going to try and make his way through the field. And Rodo and Huss both also went with the hards. So there you go, Spritzy. That's the information you require. And are we going to see another change of position? No, Jetfish is still behind Luke as we go through this time, as is rotation. So it's KVK leading the way into lap 6. And we'll just take a quick breath and see what we can catch up with here. There's plenty of action going on, it has to be said, in the early laps. Wonder why Colin's on soft, maybe rain coming up. I'll be honest, I think he's just put the quickest tyre on and try and make his way through. The hards will go to the end, but it's a long way to go on one tyre. He'd be sort of playing the long game, of course. Maybe he just fancies a bit of fun. I've not been made aware of any rain coming. It certainly looks dry and bright at the moment. And Evil Master on the mediums is actually sticking with Colin. So yeah, we've got Mercedes and Ferrari battles at both ends of the field at the moment, as Spinotler makes his way past teammate Higgsy for that P5. As we've still got Maggot, albeit with that penalty, as Colin now sets the fastest lap of the race into the 29s, 29.0 on those new soft tyres. We'll go back to the front because there's not a lot of time between rotation and KVK, is there? And DRS may just getting within range, not quite close enough, just getting close right at the very end of the straight. Marco saying only safety car can save Colin now. What's the gap? He's 54 seconds yet off the lead at the moment, although he has pitted, but he has to pit again, so that effectively is the gap he would need to make up if he was to win the race. And who have we got? We've got Brent in the pits already. So yeah, in he comes. We'll just have a quick look also at the season results summary. That's what I'm looking for. So where is he, Colin? So yeah, first in Canada, first in Bahrain, first in Saudi Arabia, first in Hungary, DNF in Singapore, and a DNF again in Japan, and then back to winning ways in China, Portugal and France. So he's won every race he's finished, So, yeah, maybe needs to throw it in the wall to maintain that record. Either way, he's now just 5 seconds off Bakker, who's playing the long game on those hard tyres. Let's see what we've missed while we caught up on that information. Maggot is now taking Higsy, so the second AlphaTauri's finding it a little difficult to live with the leading pace by the looks of things. He did make up quite a few places, I think, didn't he? Yeah, he made up some places from his grid position, so maybe just returning to his sort of natural pace around the lower reaches of the top 10. Either way, though, he's got the DRS open and won't give up the chase on Maggot just yet. What have we got going on? We've had a lead change, actually, which I've probably missed. As rotation comes back through in the lead this time, into lap 8. And KVK, of course, with him as they have been for the whole race so far. Luke and Jetfish likewise. Sminotla, though, is closing in on the pair of them, and a podium position may be in his grasp before too long. Brent came in and put the mediums on then, so that may be a stretch to go from lap 7 he pitted on, all the way to the end on the mediums. They are the tyre degradation isn't massive here, but yeah, still quite a number of laps to put on them. And yeah, it's becoming a bit of a queue down here at Luffield, isn't it? Spritzy, yeah, Luke's doing awesome. Yeah, he's doing a very good job of holding on to that P3 at the moment. Well, he's got some pretty impatient drivers, no doubt, behind him that will want to get on with things. But unfortunately for him, he's lost the DRS a long time ago to the top 2. So yeah, he's the one losing out in that regard. Somebody tell Luke to pit now. Luke, pit now. Let's see if he does. End of lap 8, and yeah, there is obviously the opportunity of the undercut for any of these guys if they feel they can't quite make an overtake stick, as Jetfish starts just having a look up the inside, but nothing of it this time. Is Luke going to pit? Has he taken the advice? No, he does not, and neither do either of the guys behind him. There is, though, Higsy coming in, so he's had enough on those soft tyres. Hopefully gets it slowed down to the line. He does indeed. What's just happened there? Colin apparently has just set the fastest third sector time, so that's good information to have. Oh my word, what's going on here? We've got Joe, Eek and Riyadh all within about a tenth of a second of each other by the looks of things, as they try and sort out what who's going to be 8th, 9th and 10th at the moment. Higsy puts the medium tyres on, and looks like he'll probably come out maybe just behind Brent, actually, by the time he gets up and running. Yeah, he's going to come out in 13th place, just behind the Alfa Romeo. Let's go back to this battle then and see what's happening, because, and Joe going all the way around the outside of Brooklands. Can he stick with it? He's up the inside into Luffield. So, Eek trying absolutely everything he can, but unfortunately for him, he's still only just side by side with the Aston Martin. They're going to go side by side all the way through to Copse, which, yeah, has never been a problem. No. We've got some yellow flags as well. Oh, a little bit of contact there as Riyadh tries to take advantage of those two racing, and does. What a brilliant move to take them both into Maggots and Beckett's. They certainly wouldn't have been expecting that one. I think it's Huss, actually, who has had a little bit of a spin coming through the final couple of corners. Joe, can he make the move back on the Williams, who's getting quite defensive and getting a little bit adventurous with it as well? And yeah, pretty straightforward move back for Joe down into Stowe this time. But again, it's still not over as we come down into Vale. Rotation's pitted, Jetfish has pitted, and Maggot has pitted. Luke still hasn't pitted, so he's obviously not heard the instruction from Marco. Sminotla now has a clear run at the back of Luke for what is now P2. Medium tyres going on all 3 cars that have just pitted. Lap 10 of 26 now, so we're approaching half distance already. And yeah, Sminotla not managing to find his way through just yet. Where are those guys going to come out? Jetfish, it's a very long and slow pit lane here, isn't it? Which obviously cancels out really any chance of a 2-stopper. Yeah, Jetfish is coming back out in 13th place. So Higsy right behind Maggot, obviously pitted a lap earlier. He's got those tyres nicely up to temperature, and has given it everything on the outlap, and almost managed to get ahead of the Aston Martin, but not quite. So quick check in on Colin. He's 3.2 off Backer now, so he is making progress, but not as much as you would probably have imagined on the soft tyres versus the hard. Evil Master, unfortunately, still down there in 16th place after that collision. KVK pits this time, right, so that's something to watch out for, is where rotation comes out in relation to him. So Luke's finally in the pits, and Joe's come in as well then, so Riyadh continues on in that P5 from the back of the grid. Done a very good first stint running those mediums, of course. He'll go a fair bit longer into this race. And actually, yeah, goes up into P3 as he passes those in the pits. So at the moment, where are we going to be with KVK? I think rotation is probably going to get this. He was ahead, I think, before he made his stop, wasn't he? It's going to be very tight between the pair of them, and just rotation stays ahead. But he's still, KVK, going to be within the 1 second DRS window, so he'll get that this time. And Joe coming out, where's he going to come out? Just ahead of Backer. And Andrew's going to drop behind Colin for P15. So that's how that all plays out. So the top 4 are the ones sort of next up to make a stop, I guess. And that would put rotation and KVK back to the front. Brent has actually had a very good sort of undercut by pitting those, 3 laps earlier, I guess, than most. So he's got to take those mediums longer in the second stint, but yeah, definitely managed to jump quite a few drivers there. I can't quite remember where he was before the stop, but it certainly wasn't a net P3 as rotation. I think just ran a little bit wide, maybe, on the exit of Chapel. Sminotla's in the pits, so yeah, the second AlphaTauri to pit, of course, after Higgsy a couple of laps ago. Medium tyres going on then. Where's he going to come out? There is a little bit of space actually, obviously between the top 2 and 3rd place, but I don't think he's quite going to manage that. He's going to be behind Brent at the guess. Can he get out ahead of Luke? We've got some yellow flags. What's happened there? Got an incident on the start-finish straight. Was that Higgsy? Yeah, he's got front wing damage. I think he's lost it by himself. I don't think there's been any collision with anyone else. Either way, let's get back to the action. Sminotla, yeah, came out just behind Brent then, but they're racing each other already as we go down to Luffield. Alfa Romeo versus AlphaTauri. And yeah, Sminotla then obviously on 4-lap fresher tyres. So he will definitely have a chance at Brent towards the end of the race, but at the moment it's the Alfa Romeo with the advantage as we come through Copse. And what on earth is going on back here? We've got like a 4-car battle going on by the looks of it. We've got Colin, we've got Eek, Backer, Colin and Higgsy. Higgsy with that, that's why, yeah, Higgsy with that front wing damage. And it's quite significant, to be honest, as well. So the whole left front end plate is missing. So he'll have to come back and obviously change that. Backer is lining up Eek now by the looks of things. And that's going to be a fairly straightforward move, I think. Despite the fresh medium tyres, the McLaren has the better pace at the moment. And Colin, on those soft tyres, will be looking to take the pair of them. So wait a minute, we've got some yellow flags. What's happened around there? Where are we? Huss has had a big off by the looks of things. Marco saying, look how much time Luke lost with that extra couple of laps on the soft. Yeah, as we've said, yeah, Brent definitely the big winner. Pitted quite early on those mediums, but yeah, Colin, I guess, could really do with a safety car around about now to pit off these soft tyres. At the moment, though, he's putting the pressure on Backer for P11. 2 drivers up the front, Lucis and Riyadh, of course, still yet to make a stop. This is still probably the closest battle on track then as we come through Maggots and Beckett's once more. And Luke maybe just starting to close up on the back of these two. and you do feel on those tyres that are 5 laps older, Brent's probably going to back some of these drivers up. We've got some yellow flags, as I think Higgsy's come out of the pits and unfortunately lost it straight away again. So yeah, it's turning into a bit of a nightmare for the AlphaTauri driver. Yeah, just needs to have a bit of a reset and crack on and try and make the end of the race. And as we've said, maybe a safety car, who knows, as we go now into the second half of the race. And we've still got these two, Rotation and KVK, fighting it out for what is effectively the race lead. Sminotli's still not managed to find a way past Brent for 5th and 6th. Nice bright green helmet there for the AlphaTauri. Certainly stands out against the navy blue. And no, we've got Colin out. So yeah, his record of win or bin is maintained. And do we have anything to come of it? We had a Ferrari of Evil Master have that what looks like the exact same incident last night, but no safety car required, and it's all cleared under yellow flags. So yeah, unfortunately for Colin, crashing qualifying and crashing the race, it really didn't go well at all tonight, did it? And yeah, two incidents, I believe, as well during the race beforehand. So yeah, very messy drive from him, unfortunately. And that sort of intrigue about the comeback and how far he could make it up the field is also lost with that error. Yeah, there's still these two going through into another lap, Lucist and Riyadh. I would imagine they'll probably take it a lap or two more. The softs do go a fair way, so they'll want to make the most of it while they've got the better tyre on, of course. Still Rotation and KVK. You get the feeling that the McLaren, they're clearly pretty evenly matched, but you do get the feeling that the McLaren could make the move if he wanted to, and he's just sort of biding his time for later in the race. Sort of the old MotoGP tactic, I guess. Sminotli's made his way past Brent. We've missed that one. And I would imagine it was probably down the hangar straight, because Sminotli set the fastest lap of the race, so I'm guessing he had DRS and a nice tow down there. What have we got going on further back? How's that battle playing out? Eek's still within DRS range of Bakker. So yeah, hopefully for him, he could maybe put these fresh mediums to good use, but Bakker keeping up some decent pace on the hard tyre. Rodo and Huss are the other two on that white wall tyre, of course. Everyone else now on the mediums, although we're expecting the top two in the next lap or two to come in and put a set of the red walled tyre on. Neither of them this time. Rotation now just 6 seconds off this pair. He'll be hoping that they come into the pits before he closes that gap. Sminotli again, fastest lap of the race, so he's starting to break away from Brent, and he's actually getting close to breaking the DRS, isn't he? Luke's just dropped back a little bit, unfortunately. Jetfish now on the back of Maggot, so this could be a little battle to keep our eyes on for P8 at the moment. We will just actually have a quick look in the press room. There were a few drivers saying that they definitely wanted it dry this evening, while a couple were quite happy for it to be wet. Certainly doesn't look like we've got any chance of rain now, with just over 10 laps remaining. And yeah, nice blue skies, of course, so it can change very quickly, as we know, certainly in Great Britain, but it's definitely nice and sunny out there at the moment, as Jetfish just has a little think about a move into Cops. But yeah, not this time, unfortunately. KVK, is he going to be close enough to make a move down the hangar straight? Probably not. Doesn't look to be closing on the map, does he? Not until right at the very end of the straight, and by that point it's too late. No move for Sminotli or Brent either, but we have got a move going here. Jetfish down the inside, pulls out of the slipstream, and makes that move. And Lucist is the first one of the top two to blink then and put those soft tyres on. Luke saying winning in Season 2 and getting his first RPM win was a highlight for him. and he's doing very well at the moment and may have a chance of a podium this evening, which would probably do him no harm at all, with Jetfish at the moment behind him. There's only 13 points between those two in the championship, so yeah, that would be a good result for him if he can keep the Mercedes behind him. Bakker saying his highlight was dominating a race win in full wet. But, in real life, he found the old layout the best. I would have to agree with that. The layout pre-loop was something pretty special. Absolutely. We've still got this fight going on. Wait a minute. Brent is he's closed that gap down. So Sminotler, I wonder if he's had a little bit of an incident somewhere. He's definitely he almost had a second gap, didn't he? But yeah, all of a sudden down to just a couple of tenths. And Brent now, albeit neither of them have got a massive amount of engine left, but Brent looks like he's going to be able to make the move, and up the inside into Stowe. It's going to be fairly straightforward in the end. And yeah, job done. Riyadh into the pits, so that's going to cycle rotation and KVK back to the front of the pack, and this is now going to become the battle for the final podium position, as expected, of course. Rotation actually predicted Collington Botley's home Grand Prix, so that one did alright. Luke saying Bakker won in Season 1, so let's see what he can do. Unfortunately, involved in an incident early on, so looks like no chance for that at the moment. Although, wait a minute, what have we got? Why is Bakker over there? Where's he ended up? He's ended up halfway in and out of the pits by the looks of things. Not sure if there was contact with another driver or not. Not entirely sure on that one. Either way, let's go back to this lead battle, because it's still very close as we come through Maggots and Beckett's one more time. Lap 18 of 26. Yeah, Bakker saying it's probably mind games from Luke. That's about it, I think. We've got something from Colin as well, so we will pick that up in just a moment. But right now, back to the action with KVK still a couple of tenths behind. Brent has got ahead of Sminotler. Yeah, we saw that a moment ago, didn't we? Maggot is back ahead of Jetfish, so there's a couple of battles out there that just keep sort of rotating every lap or so. Still that sort of 5-second gap between P2 and P3 that's been maintained pretty much since the early laps. Let's just have a look back down the pack as well, as Lucist unfortunately picks up a time penalty. We've got wait a minute, Eek's left the session. Okay, that's interesting. Hopefully he can get back in. To complete the order, yeah, Joe, Eek, Riyadh is about to overtake that sort of missing Red Bull now, who picks up a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I wasn't even aware there was a yellow flag. Andrew, Bakker, Evil Master, Rodo, Huss, and Higgsy complete your order. Just the one DNF so far. And still these two battling once again through another lap. And the DRS is going to come into play again. They've still both got a massive amount of energy left, which makes you believe there's another level for these two both to go to in the closing laps, and it's just a case of what lap do they choose to properly go for it, take the initiative, and try and gap the other one. The contrast is Brent and Sminotler, who are being a little bit greedy and using all of their electrical energy to go for it right now. Luke is starting to be in a little bit of a lonely P5, a couple of seconds off of the guys ahead and a couple of seconds ahead of those behind. Jetfish has not managed to find a way past Maggot this time. We've got some chat. What's going on? Eek has been disconnected. That's unfortunate. Have we got any action to bring you? Evil Master and Bakker. That's closed up quite a bit, hasn't it? The McLaren versus the Mercedes. And they're about to overtake the Red Bull, so it's going to become the battle for P12. And again, yeah, Evil Master getting greedy on that button. down to just 6% energy. And maybe Bakker can use his energy to defend from the DRS then. Although Bakker might actually get... Yeah, Bakker's going to get the DRS, isn't he, I think? Was he behind Eat for long enough? I'm fairly certain that wing's going to open on the McLaren, is it? Maybe not. Maybe he didn't. Maybe just overtaken him. Yeah, because Eat's got the DRS, even though there's no driver in it. And still the order maintained up the front. And still the order maintained for P3 and 4 at the moment. So we've got a battle for first and second, a battle for third and fourth. We've got Luke pretty lonely in P5, and then we've got a battle for sixth and seventh as Jetfish goes for it again. Aston Martin versus Mercedes. So both the Mercedes out there fighting with customer cars. And we've got Lucist actually on those soft tyres, starting to gain on both of them. So this could be a factor. The Alpine has done a very good job, was obviously under the radar in the first stint as he was using the mediums. But now he's got, what we on lap 21 of 26. He's got the soft tyres on and could maybe even be looking at a top 5 result here if he can clear these two pretty quickly. Joe still in a very lonely P9 for Joe, and Riyadh came out also on the soft tyres, so hopefully, well, he'll be looking to towards the Aston Martin ahead of him, won't he? Towards the closing laps. No more comments coming through on the stream, so if anyone is still out there, let's have a prediction between let's have a prediction for race win and a prediction for podium then. So is it going to be rotation or KVK for the win? Is it going to be Brent or Sminotler or someone else for the final podium position? And if anyone wants to predict rain, there'd probably be an outside bet at the moment because that threat seems to not be on its way. And rotation still leading the race, as he has done for quite a while now. KVK had his turn leading it, but didn't stay out front for too long. And they're still both biding their time. Look at that, in full batteries on both of them. Rodo picks up a 3-second time penalty. So Sminotler's still sticking within half a second of Brent ahead. And Jetfish and Maggot still the same. Lucis now, though, is very much within DRS range. So this is going to get interesting. With these soft tyres, how quickly can he get ahead of those? It's a little bit of a DRS train, of course, because it's difficult for him to clear Maggot while Maggot's getting the DRS action from Jetfish. That's a good point. Sminotler has a penalty. I tend to just ignore the penalties and go for the on-track battles as Maggot picks up one. So yeah, I mean, feel free to get your predictions in for who'll take it on track, but yeah, good. It's very true that Sminotler does have that 5-second penalty currently. Back to the Alpine Aston Martin fight, and may not need DRS. He might be able to get Maggot up the inside into Cops, and should get that move done from there. Although Maggot running it right out wide, using all the track and then some. But, just had to lift in the end as Lucis turned in to... oh, wait a minute, we've got to change up the front. KVK's finally gone for it. Finally dropped a bit of energy on an overtake as Evil Master picks up a penalty of his own. So yeah, coming around to start lap 23 of 26. I think the fight at the front may have just been lit as KVK sets the fastest lap of the race at 28.453. It's been a slow burner for a couple of laps. I'm pretty sure both are going for it now. Sminotler still no progress towards that P3. Lucist is now. He's now got a clear run at Jetfish with the DRS as Riyadh picks up another penalty down in P10. That might start gaining. Maybe Bakker could gain a place towards the end of this race if he can find another couple of seconds or something. And I would imagine Lucist is going to be through this time. Jetfish, yeah, they've got similar amounts of energy. He's very close. He's got the DRS. He's got Slipstream, and he pulls out to make the move. And makes it stick down into Brooklands. What is he, 3 seconds off Luke, which could get pretty close, I guess, in the last couple of laps, but does have a penalty, which should mean the Ferrari driver is safe in that P5 at the moment. And actually, yeah, not a million miles away from getting P4 off Sminotler, is he? So, yeah, here back to the front. We're going to have rotation this time to take P1. As Evil's pitted actually and put the soft tyres on, so he's going for a bit of fastest lap action. But Rotation takes over the lead into what is going to be lap 24, isn't it? So if he takes it into 24 or on 23, KVK will take it on 24. Rotation takes it on 25. Technically, if they keep alternating, KVK wins at the moment. We've got Lucis on those soft tyres has had an incident. Not sure what happened there. But yeah, unfortunately for him, drops down to P8. Back behind Jetfish and Maggot, and 6 seconds behind them as well. So he'll do well to finish any better than 8th now. So not sure what. Backer's in the pits. What's happened here? Is he coming for some tyres? Yeah. He's coming for some soft tyres to take his McLaren to the end of the race. Rotation and KVK still sitting just a couple of tenths apart. They've been like this pretty much the entire race. And yeah, again, I think we're going to swap places once again, both using the overtake, and KVK up the inside takes the lead. Someone's got to use a lot of overtake, a big burst of overtake to defend at some point, and I'm not sure who's going to be the first to do so. Still, these two can't be separated either. Luke looking pretty solid, but that challenge for P4 might have just dropped off. He's dropped a second in the last couple of laps. So, yeah, unfortunately for him, looks like he'll have to make do with P5. He only has one warning, I believe. So he does have a little bit of leeway. It's not like he's right on the cusp of getting a penalty of his own. And Rotation, not feeling the need to go for an overtake down into Brooklands. This, of course, though, this Wellington straight, the other DRS zone, is definitely something that could come into play on the final lap. Which is, yeah, approaching very quickly, isn't it? We're on 25 of 26 now. It's all gone rather quickly this evening, hasn't it? As, thought we had a notification there. No, we'll carry on as we were. And through Cops this time. And, yeah, pretty similar gaps between P1 and 2 and P3 and 4. As Huss makes his way past EQ. I don't think has managed to get back in the session, unfortunately. Who else is looking to make some moves in the final lap? I think the closest battles are the ones we're watching for P, as Evil Master does set that fastest lap of the race. So Rotation goes through up the front, as expected. They swap positions one more time. So Sminotler then finally makes his way up into P3 ahead of Brent. And yeah, so final lap time it is then. Rotation, fastest lap of the race, 28.1, takes it back away from Evil Master. And it's, yeah, 7 tenths down then. So his Rotation going to try and make the break down the Wellington straight. Is he going to use his energy now? He is. How much of it does he use? Does he gamble that he manages to get a big enough gap before the hanger straight? But if he uses it all up and doesn't have anything to defend, yeah, down into Stowe, and let's be honest, who's got the most deployment left on the lap? That's a key thing to watch for as well. They've all got plenty of battery, but the lap deployment, of course, is something to consider. And KVK just has slightly more at the moment. So, yeah, we're going to find out the winner in just a few seconds. We've got the Red Bull, unfortunately. And if that Red Bull's going to give Rotation the DRS, surely. That might have just decided the race. Eek's AI, which of course it can do nothing about at all. But, oh, wait a minute, it's becoming an issue now because of the ghosting, I think. But they're side by side down into Stowe for the final time. Both have DRS. A little bit of contact. I don't think Rotation's going to do. I don't think KVK's going to do it. One more chance down into Vale. Rotation's out of energy, but I think he may just get the job done unless he goes deep. No, he keeps it nice and neat and tidy. He's going to get it as he comes through. Yeah, he's used all his deployment as he comes across the line to win the British Grand Prix. And Sminotler will take it on track from Brent, but Brent will cycle back up to the podium with that one. Sminotliak P4, Luke as expected P5, Jetfish should take P6, Maggot and Lucist P7 and 8, and then next across the line would be Joe in the second Aston Martin. May gain a place actually, let's have a look. No, it stays P9, Riyadh is P10 but may lose out. I think Andrew's going to jump a place here, does indeed to P10, Riyadh P11, Bakker is still down at Maggots and Beckett's actually. So, yeah, just got a couple of comments. Go on, Brian, which I believe is KBK. Bakker, yeah, through the final couple of corners. It's been a very long evening for him, unfortunately, with an incident early on. Takes the final couple of corners, and he's going to pick up P12. We'll stick with him across the line. There he is. 5-second time penalty for an unserved penalty. And Evil Master in P13, Rodo P14, and Huss P15 is going to be the last man to cross the line because Eek and Higgsy were both a lap down and have already taken the checkered flag. And wow, that's 26 laps for you. It was definitely kept interesting by those two fights for the win and the podium, of course. Never much more than a second between them. And yeah, we'll get very shortly confirmation of the results. But your drivers take to the podium and celebrate the result, of course. Rotation, I think at one point he was lucky to get the DRS off the back marker, but then unlucky to be sort of had to check up because he didn't want to hit the back marker, and then they just both ended up sort of side by side, both with DRS, and it was a case of who I guess really who had the inside line into Stowe, which it was indeed Rotation. Not much between them in the end. It's Rotation's first win apparently, and it's his third podium. It's KVK's fourth podium, and it's apparently it's Brent's first podium as well. So yeah, a couple of firsts there. First podium for Brent, first win for Rotation. Confirmation of the complete order: Rotation, KVK, Brent, Sminotla, Luke, Jetfish, Maggot, Lucist, Joe, Andrew, Riyadh, Bakker, Evil Master, Rodo, and Huss. Eek was, I think, probably a non-finisher actually, I guess, as he wasn't in control. I'm not sure on that one. Higgsy, 17th, and your only true DNF was Colin. I guess if any drivers do want to join for an interview, then please do. What's going on here? Apparently it's pad drivers 2, 3, and 4. We'll just give it a moment to see if we do have anyone join for an interview. We'll just give them a minute, but yeah, what a race that was. As we mentioned, a couple of firsts in terms of Rotation's first win and Brent's first podium, and yeah, another DNF for Colin, unfortunately, at what is apparently his home race. Let's see if we can see who's actually in the party, who has access to it. Rotation apparently not, so we'll try and invite him if possible. just give it another moment. If we can't get anyone for this evening, that we'll have to call it a day. But I'm not in any particular rush to go anywhere, so unless anyone else is, we'll try our best. I think I'm going to get Backer in for some invites for the top 3, hopefully, and maybe even get a word from himself. Here he is.
A very good evening, Mr. Commentator.
Good evening. What happened to you? You have some trouble early on.
Yeah, someone took my front wing. I believe it was Jetfish in lap 1. Yeah, well, basically my race was over by then.
I know the feeling. I lost my front wing on lap 1 yesterday.
Yeah. I tried to fight back a little. Had a little fight with Colin though. I enjoyed that, but
yeah, so no, yeah.
Was
no,
not
I
enough.
had a long evening last night on hard tyres as well. So
yeah, they didn't feel that well. It took like 8 laps to actually buy it in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hopefully, I'm just saying if we can get some of the top 3 in, or all of them maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, KFC is in already. He just needs to join. I just invited a rotation for you.
Okay.
And Minotla should be here as well. Let me have a look. There he is. That's the race winner. You got that one.
Indeed.
No P2
Rotation,
anymore.
if he's there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was a very close fight, obviously with KVK for most of the race. It seemed you were just sort of biding your time, both of you, before you obviously used your energy and sort of made the race a 4-lap sprint at the end. Were you just waiting for that and saving your energy towards the end of the race, or were you both absolutely flat out?
Oh no, we were. I don't know about him, but I was saving the entire race. I didn't barely use any. I was ready to just pounce on the final lap. Yeah,
definitely seemed that way. So I think actually you led most of the race anyway, didn't you? But perhaps a little scare towards sort of the end of the final lap there with the AI backmarker. It's probably closer than you would have liked.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if the AI wasn't there, I would have just been able to stay ahead of KFC, even though he had the DRS. But the AI slowed me down, but thankfully I got the DRS from it as well. So
yeah, it was sort of, we mentioned at the time, it was sort of a bit of bad luck, well, a bit of good luck initially to get the DRS off the back marker, but then maybe a bit of bad luck. You had to check up and make sure you didn't hit him. So yeah, but either way, yeah, got the job done. So very well done indeed. In terms of the championship, you're just actually behind KVK, so you'll close in a little bit on him, but also obviously close in on the likes of Jetfish and Luke. So I would imagine towards the end of the season you've got a chance of making up a good few places. Do you have any particular target for a championship position?
Not really. I mean, this was like the 4th race I've ever done in RPM, so
yeah, very good then.
I'm happy
very
to
good
be
total
that
for that.
far up.
Yeah, well, what have we got next? We've got Spa next week, so how are you feeling about that one? Particularly good track for yourself or not?
Oh yeah, Spa next week. I'm sick that day, so you know, can't do Spa, you know.
Unfortunately, it looks like we've not got any of the other podium finishers to join us, so we'll probably call it a day for that. But yeah, thank you to Rotation, and congratulations again on what I believe was your first RPM win.
Thank you.
And thank you for Backer for giving us a couple of words there as well. So yeah, as we mentioned, Spa next week, and obviously low gear starting on Tuesday, running all the way through to high gear again on the Thursday. So be sure to join us on YouTube once again. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us, and good night.